So these are all of the books that I have to return on Friday. Hey everyone, my name is Caroline. Welcome to my channel. This is my first video, but I thought why not start my vlog today? It's an important day for me. I'm taking my PhD exam and I wanted to let you know how I'm feeling. I'm gonna finish this vlog later. I just wanted to give you kind of a sense of how I'm feeling this morning. I've been preparing for this exam for a very long time. I'm a history PhD student. I study the history of medicine. So my exam covers a really long period of time. I've had to read about 200 books. I've been really extensively studying for this for the past 6 to 8 months. So this is kind of an exciting day for me. I feel, ready to info dump everything I've been reading. So yeah, I know that I watched a lot of videos about this day in other people's lives, and everyone seemed really nervous. I personally don't feel nervous. I think that's important for other people to hear too. Once you get to this stage where you have read so many books and you've talked to your advisors so many times, if you have good advisors, you shouldn't feel nervous because you should know that you know the material, everything will be okay, your advisors should be on your side. And so, yeah, today I'm taking a 6-hour written exam. I have 2 questions, one from each of my 2 major field advisors. So half of my exam will be on the pre-modern and the second half will be on the modern. So I have a really long period of time to cover, but it will be okay. I know most of the information. I'm not nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about time because I have 3 hours for each exam question, but I've done a couple things that I think will help me save time throughout the day, because obviously for 6 hours you might want to eat something or drink something. So I've got a couple things that I'm gonna have here on my desk during my exam. So first things first, I've already drank my espresso with my Trader Joe's turmeric coconut milk, which is amazing. But I obviously will need more caffeine, and I don't want to take a break to make coffee, so I will have this, periodically throughout the day. It'll be quick, it'll be easy. Just the dark roast from Starbucks, iced coffee. Something else that I have for a drink, I'll get a large glass of water, but I also picked up this bubbly bounce, so more caffeine, and this is caffeinated sparkling water. It's mango passion fruit. Sounds great, so that'll make me happy. And then I don't usually like to eat breakfast, but I feel like in order to keep myself satiated, that's a horrible word, throughout the day, I'm going to have this smoothie for breakfast. This is a Revive Superfood smoothie. I highly recommend these smoothies. They're great. This one is the Rise and Chai. It has banana, butternut squash, Granny Smith apple, zucchini, medjool dates, vanilla, black tea, cinnamon, and ginger. It's delicious. I've had many of them before. And also very filling, so that's cool. But then, of course, if I need something to hold me over until 3 p.m. when my exam ends, I have Trader Joe's Everything But the Bagel Nut Duo. It's so good. I love these. They're really good. But also I do have an Amy's meal ready in the freezer right next to my room. So if I really need to eat something, I can just pop that in the microwave and that'll be fine. But hopefully not. I'm hoping to make it through the 6 hours without having a meal, just because I'm nervous about time. But that's really it. That's really all I feel nervous about is the timing. I'm planning on kind of setting out a layout for myself before I begin, what I'm going to talk about first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then filling in the gaps. I'm very lucky because my advisors are allowing me to use my notes. I've been working on these notes for a very long time. I also have them in digital format so that I can easily search on my iPad. My iPad will be my note resource as well as the paper notes. And then I'll be typing up the exam on my MacBook M1 Air. And I've got this really awesome new stand that, oof, it's like really heavy duty though. But if I want to stand up and work, it's possible. So that's cool, right? Because sometimes you don't want to sit for 6 hours. So maybe I'll be able to stand up and type some of my exam, which is awesome. I love this stand. I'll actually link it in the description. I'll also link Revive Superfoods because they're cool too. And yeah, I plan on writing a blog about this, so I'll link my blog as well. But I plan to come back and discuss the outcome of my exam and whether I'm feeling good when I'm finished. I'm done at 3 p.m. and I have 10 minutes to email it, which is quite a grace period for email. Yeah, but I'm excited. I have much more time, about 50 minutes more. So I'm gonna like, you know, get in the zone. I woke up early this morning, as I always do, because I am a VIP Kid teacher. Those of you who know VIP Kid can appreciate this. But yeah, so I woke up really early because I always wake up early to teach my little kids. And I went for a walk. I drank my coffee. It was so nice. So I feel relaxed. I feel ready to go. It's gonna be great. But I'll check back in with you when I'm done. I'll tell you what my exam questions were like. And yeah, hopefully this can serve as a good resource for those of you who are going to be in this position very soon. Everyone's examiners are different, but it's generally true that they all want you to succeed and they're not going to throw you a curveball. I say that before I get my exam questions, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll be okay. Okay, well, I'm excited. Everything will be fine. Okay. This is the Revive Superfood smoothie that I was talking about. It's really good. Recommend. Also, the handy dandy everything but the bagel nut duo. Okay. So I waited a little bit to return for this video because I needed to like kind of calm down. After I finished my exam today, I went for a run, and then I went to the store. I went to buy some champagne, well, Prosecco to be very specific, and then I went to buy something sweet to share with my family. Got some pies because I feel like celebrating. My experience in the exam was so good. I felt, you know, so in the zone. I got my questions and I just immediately knew that everything was fine. And I had so many things that I wanted to say for both of my questions that I actually had trouble like saying them all, I think, effectively in some ways, because there's so much that I remembered I wanted to say. But in the end, you know, I wrote double what was expected for me to be able to accomplish in that time span that I had, which made me feel really good because obviously I really didn't have to refer to my notes, maybe just a couple of times for like names and dates and a few small details. But really I didn't refer to my notes until after really 4 hours, and in 4 hours I was able to write 17 pages. And then I spent this next 2 hours just revising and kind of adding some information here and there, which brought my exam page count to 20. I was only expected to write 5 pages per examiner, and that was because of time constraints. It wasn't necessarily you can only write this much. It was you're probably only going to be able to write at least this much. So I felt really good about the amount I was able to write and what I was able to write about. You know, one of my examiners asked me a question that required me to argue something about change over time in the history of medicine. And that was really nice because it gave me the opportunity to put myself into the response and my own ideas about how things were. And I think that that helped show the mastery that I have gained over the subject. So, and I knew that that was something that would probably be part of the exam, is this idea of change over time, what my own take is, etc. So I feel really good about it. You know, if I had to say one thing to everyone out there who is preparing for this exam, that would be to read, obviously, read for major themes and changes over time, the arguments of the authors that you're reading. But I think the other thing that's like so important is meeting with your advisors. Meet with your advisors as often as you can. Something else that one of my advisors required me to do, and I ended up doing for each of my advisors, which they were all so impressed with, was writing. I wrote responses every couple of weeks on a section of my readings, and I sent those responses to my advisors a few days before our meetings to talk about the readings, and so they could read them in advance and kind of get a sense of my thoughts, and it gave me time to reflect before, and really showed my examiners that I was retaining the information and thinking about the information, because sometimes it's a little intimidating to just go blindly into a meeting with someone who's an expert on this topic, and I freeze up. I know that's my problem. So writing beforehand, you know, it helped me overcome some of that imposter syndrome that almost all of us feel at some point in this process. So I highly recommend writing those responses about readings to your examiners if they're willing to read them before your meetings with them. I think that was the most helpful thing to me. You know, I had one of my examiners tell me that as far as she was concerned, that I had already passed my exam a few weeks ago at our last meeting, because I've already done the work, and regardless, I mean, she thinks that I deserve to pass the exam. And for me, that was really important. That calms my nerves so much. I'm not worried at all about the oral part of this exam, which I'm doing next Wednesday. I feel really confident about doing that. And for my major field, the history of medicine, my examiners aren't even allowed to ask me any new questions. So I'll just be elaborating on what I've written, filling in some gaps that I wasn't able to touch upon in my writing because I, you know, maybe ran out of time. So yeah, really I wanted to record this today because I know how nervous that I had been for months about this exam. And I want to let you know that, like, yes, you do need to put in lots of work. You need to familiarize yourself with the readings and the authors. But, you know, as long as you do the work, you treat it like a job, you will do just fine on your exams. Don't be nervous for them. Treat them as a, you know, as something, you know, good to get all this information off your back. I mean, you've been hoarding information in your brain for so long. I used it as an info dump. It felt so great. I just feel a huge sense of relief. I was like riding a high for this whole afternoon. I've finally come down now, which I'm glad to have before I recorded this video. But I was so ecstatic. It was a really good day. The 6 hours went by like that. It was so quick. So yeah, just don't be nervous and do the work and everything will be fine. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope that you will check out some of my other videos once they are posted, and give me a follow to see what's next in my life.